3.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Dad FF. The NFL draft has come and gone, and man, this has been an absolute blur. It doesn't feel like that long ago that the Super Bowl just ended, and Snoog and I were telling you, these guys are going to be good. You're really going to want to invest in this player, that player. Now it's really come to fruition. We're seeing it in the NFL draft. We see a lot of these guys where our reactions and our takes were right on. Some of them, a couple guys fall here and there, but it has been absolutely incredible. In the Smash Accept Patreon, this morning, I had a birthday party. Shout out to my girlfriend. She's fantastic. She threw a surprise birthday party for me. I woke up in the morning to 147 DMs. I'm like, let's get it going. I'm here to help you guys smash your drafts. I got 22 drafts going today, so we don't have any graphics with this YouTube. We just wanted to give you guys, our gut reactions as raw as possible to help you guys smash your rookie drafts.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I mean, this was definitely an anticipated draft. The top 4 to 5 running backs lived up to the hype. They all got drafted in the top 80 picks, all with phenomenal landing spots. So I'm excited to kind of talk about draft day reactions, kind of talk about where you should be taking some of these guys in your rookie drafts, and just talk about value pockets and all that good stuff. Because like Dad said, a lot of these guys fell, especially the running backs. The running back class, the guys we thought would have gotten taken didn't get taken. And a lot of the guys that we were kind of like, these guys stink, got drafted just solely because they're good on third downs or good in pass protection, or they do something good that the team was lacking, rather than just drafting a Damian Martinez, DJ Giddens, those type of kind of workhorse profile type of players. So I'm excited to kind of jump into this one, and we can talk about some of these players.
All right, we have it down below, patreon.com/smash accept. Guys, right now, we've offered so many different options in there. You guys can get up to, within 4-hour guaranteed if you guys are, in the VIP as a response time. Snoog and I are grinding to help you guys smash your rookie drafts. I've had guys message, honestly, they're putting messages in there like, Dad, you helped me crush this. I drafted this player, wasn't even thinking that. Someone just put, you guys are the effing best. Like, I can't believe you guys are getting up at 5 a.m. to try to help us grind rookie drafts. Other guys were like, I never thought about this trade. Thank you so much. We have rookie picks equivalents 101 to 112. We have all of our rankings in there. I have my top 36. I think Snoog does as well. It's a changing atmosphere, Snoog, because I think the first round stayed pretty similar, but a lot shook up afterwards. We knew Genty was going to be the 101. Our 102 to 105 right now, all of them increased in value. We talk about Omarion Hampton to the Chargers. That's an absolute bell cow type situation with Najee Harris basically signing backup money anyways. Travis Hunter going to the Jaguars, and moving up to get him. Then you got Ted McMillan gets that dream landing spot with the Panthers that you and I wanted. And it's like those guys in that 102 to 105 stock went up. Travion Henderson, a lot of people don't love his stock, but I think the Patriots are a great landing spot. So let's start with Hampton. Hampton's on here. I know some people are moving him down. We talked about, you were right, he did not go top 12, but this is almost the best case scenario. I would have liked to see the Steelers, but this is a better offense tied to Jim Harbaugh. Last year, 11th most runs in the NFL. People don't realize they got the studs, Alton Slater on the tackles, but they improved the interior line by going out and acquiring 3 interior linemen with 80-plus PFF run grades. Like, stock is way up for Omarion Hampton.
In the rookie guide that we put out pre-draft, I posted the Chargers as the number 1 landing spot for Omarion Hampton, and I said all along, like, if he goes to the Chargers, I'm going to be all in on him, because you have to be, right? He always kind of had that skill set that wasn't super modern day NFL, but you need to have that kind of old style coach like Mike Tomlin, a Cowboys type situation, or Jim Harbaugh to kind of draft, or a John Harbaugh, like those type of guys to bring in an Omarion Hampton, a big brute, 220 plus pound guy that's going to run through your face, handle 20, 25 touches, probably not see a ton in the receiving game, but I'm telling you one thing, he's going to get a lot of receiving work in the Chargers offense. Justin Herbert loves his check down option, elite offensive line. Don't overthink it. Omarion Hampton is the RB2 in this class now, especially with the Chargers, with this situation, and he's going to get ridiculous amount of volume. You can like Travion Henderson and Judkins better as talents, but if you take one of them over Hampton straight up, you're just burning value. So if you're going to do that, you better trade back and get a pick on top.
he's got reliable hands. He's not an elite pass catcher by any stretch,
I
but
think
he's
he's
someone that
JT.
yeah, exactly. I think, and JT had a season, I think 30 receptions a year with a ceiling of 50 plus. I think if he can catch 50 plus passes, he will be worth more than what we have him right now. You and I both have him as Dynasty RB6, RB7 in that range. He's just really beefed up. What I love about this is you and I were talking trash back and forth. The Hampton, Hunter, this and that. And both of them get really elite landing spots. I think I'm not wild on Travis Hunter when we talk defense, but what you can say is now that he's with Cohen in this particular offense, this guy is the limit, right? If he were to play all offensive snaps, him and BTJ are one of the most lethal combinations in the league. The only downplay is, can Trevor Lawrence play to a Joe Burrow level and host both of these guys up, or even to a Baker Mayfield level in that Cohen offense and support both these guys to be top 12? I mean, like I said, we're excited. 102 to 105, juicy as hell right now.
Yeah, this is fun because I'm a real big Travis Hunter guy. I'm a really big believer in his wide receiver talent. The way I look at it, and a lot of guys in the Discord and Twitter have been saying, like, I want to hear you guys talk about Travis Hunter. Like, I don't know where to take him. What's the deal with that? A lot of people have him 102 still. The thing with him is, and why I'm still so high on him, and I love the Jaguars landing spot compared to the Browns. One, he has a quarterback now. Two, most offenses in the NFL nowadays are going to have two really good wide receivers. It's just the way it goes. Look at T. Higgins, look at Chris Godwin, look at Devontae Smith, all those guys on the higher end with pocket passers like Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Chris Godwin were both literally top 3 wide receivers last year in points per game before injuries. Chris Godwin is not Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is literally Chris Godwin with a lightning bolt shoved up his butt, literally just juiced up like a Tasmanian devil. Like he's literally,
he's like 2018 Chris Godwin, but faster. Like Chris Godwin was elite that year.
Liam Cohen is going to have a ball with Travis Hunter out of the slot. I really do think that Trevor Lawrence could be Baker Mayfield, which is a perfectly fine outcome for him. And I think BTJ is going to be Mike Evans, and I think Travis Hunter is going to be better Chris Godwin. And I think both BTJ and Travis Hunter can be top 12 finishers, no problem. That's kind of how I diagnosed it, but
he's my 104 right now. Because right now I'm looking at a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, he's going to surpass BTJ as the wide receiver 1. I don't think that's there. I don't think that's what we're looking at. But to have two guys of this type of caliber in an offense like this, if he gets 75% of snaps, he will be at least in the wide receiver 2 range as a rookie. His value is only going to continue to go up in this offense if things project the right way. My only concern is just the low BMI and what's going to happen on defense. I wish they would just, the reason I love the Patriots is because he would have been wide receiver only. Here, the worst cornerback room in the entire league, I feel like, is the Jaguars. Like, they're bottom 3 for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, but once he gets on that field and you see him in practice, there's no way Cohen's like, all right, we're not going to play this guy straight up wide receiver. So if he's straight up wide receiver, I think he's the 103. For me right now, the 103 is Tedaroy McMillan. Because Tedaroy McMillan, and we both had them in that same tier, right? They're both borderline smash tier.
1A,
Tedaroy
1B.
McMillan, Travis Hunter. The only reason I prefer Tedaroy McMillan right now is he goes to the Panthers. He's safer. We saw Adam Thielen over the final 8 weeks with Bryce Young as a wide receiver 15. That is the floor for Tedaroy McMillan right off the bat. He's going to get 150 plus targets. Like, he's going to get peppered in this offense. And you can say what you want about Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, whatever else is there. It's not a lot, like I think Adam Thielen potentially is either going to help groom Tedaroy McMillan or potentially get traded, to get to another roster here. But Ted McMillan is now borderline top 12 dynasty wide receiver. I have him at 14, right behind AJ Brown, but I think by midseason, he's a top 12 dynasty wide receiver.
Yeah, we've been pounding that drum for a while on the show that Dave Canales is going to go out there and get his Mike Evans. Well, he did. Now Bryce Young, who fed Thielen, who's fed all these wide receivers, Deontay Johnson, when he was there, was a wide receiver 1. Ted McMillan's about to put up crazy numbers. 1,000 yards as a rookie. You can go ahead and lock that in. That's going to happen.
It's done.
The defense still stinks, so they're going to be throwing the ball 45 times a game, which is even better for Ted McMillan. He's the clear-cut wide receiver 1, 0 target competition there. And he's polished. Like he can do a lot of the things that big, fast wide receivers usually can't do. Like he's in that T. Higgins London mold, pro ready to go day one, rather than a Quentin Johnston, a Mike Williams, those type of guys that kind of either can't catch a damn football or can't run a route or those type of things. So the way I've broken down this, Dad, 102, this is how I look at it. You want to go shoot for the moon for upside, take Travis Hunter. You don't have to, though, because most people aren't. If you want an elite RB1 and you just want to take your running back because you don't have one, take Amari Hampton. If you want to take a high floor player in a rebuild that's guaranteed going to be a low end wide receiver one, take Ted McMillan. That's kind of how I've been helping people steer the ship. But a lot of people I've been helping out with, I've been like, you got 102, 104, or you got 102 and 105. Take Hampton or Tet, because there's a damn good chance Hunter falls to 5. And like that's how you got to play it, right? You got to know your board, you got to know your room. That's something that we've preached for a while. And a lot of guys in the Discord are like, dude, I just got Travis Hunter 105 and I got Hampton at 102. And I was like, that's why we do this, right? You
and
never burn value.
A lot of people I saw are trying to trade back before we even get on the clock. Someone was like, I don't think I'm getting Hunter, so I traded the 105 for the 111 in an early second. And I'm like, why?
Oh.
Like, don't do that now. Like on the clock, if it's and here's the deal for me is we look at this. I almost have Travion Henderson at 5 and Ward at 6 because a lot of people were down on what Travion Henderson's landing spot. The more I dig into this, Snoog, I love it. I actually love it. Because they need a playmaker, right? The only wide receiver they took was Kyle Williams. So they still don't have an elite wide receiver. The tight end room is kind of blah. We get one of the most explosive, if not the most explosive, open field runner in this class with breakaway speed, foot quickness, the best pass catcher, arguably. I mean, you got Tootin, you got other guys in there. But I mean, at the top, he is elite at that. I think there's a real world scenario here. And again, he's just a better Ramondre Stevenson. So if anybody tells you Ramondre Stevenson is going to eat in to Travion Henderson, you're dead wrong. The only worry I have is he's a little bit smaller. So I would love to see him get a Jahmyr Gibbs type role for the Patriots, right? Like year one, 45% of the workload and all the receiving work. And Travion Henderson is Jahmyr Gibbs light. Like we're not saying he's the same player, but if there's anybody in this class, this is what we have to do, and I think I'm excited for him. I want to get it going. Hey, we got this right here. My man, Andres Martin says, I have reviews with both of you guys that should be out this week. Need running back desperately, but if Hunter's available, are you tempted? Here's what I keep saying to everybody, okay, is we talk to thousands of people in the Discord. We talk hundreds of people on Twitter, and they're all saying, I need a running back. Should I take RJ Harvey at 5? You're like, what? No. Like, just because you need someone, you take the best player available. I do not think, as much as I like Travion Henderson, he's not the same ceiling as Travis Hunter. And I think in this offense, though, I love him. The pass pros, he's the best pass blocker in this draft. He's going to keep. They took Will Campbell in the first. The Patriots killed this draft. Travion Henderson, Drake May, stock up.
Yeah, I love how you broke that down because in the rookie guide, we talked about him being like a light Jahmyr Gibbs and a Devon A-Chain, Travis Etienne, a Jamal Charles type of player, home run hitter, elite in pass protection. He's going to get all the third down work, all the receptions. To me, Drake May is going to be a check down merchant in this offense, right? Like he's got digs out
Kyle
there.
Williams at least stretches the field now.
Henderson's literally the number 2 op. Henderson's going to be the number 2 option. And Josh McDaniels turned James White into a friggin' PPR monster. And Josh McDaniels is a screen merchant. We're going to see so much value for Travion Henderson in this offense. And he still is a really talented runner. So I really just think Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, Travion said he didn't even meet with them. I guarantee you I guarantee you they did not think he was going to be there at 38. And he dropped and they were like, all right, we're taking a running back now. So that just proves to you the type of player he is. Yeah, Ramondre is going to be like a 10 to 12 to 14 touch guy to start. Ramondre has zero juice in the tank, dude. Like he just don't have it no more. I don't know what happened, but he's already 27 years old. He got a contract, but he's not Travion Henderson.
The other guy that's in consideration in your top 6, who I will not be drafting a lot of, is Cam Ward. And, saying a guy gets drafted 1 overall, you're like, okay, I can buy in on this. But what did they do, other than him? They went out and they addressed a bunch of wide receivers, but didn't take another one early. They went out there and they tried to throw some things. I do like that Ward has that say in the room already where it's like, hey, I want you guys to bring in my guy, bring in Restrepo. Like, let's bring him back in, which is cool that they went there. But Snoog, I mean, I don't want to say he's a bust. I just feel like if I have a quarterback and if I need a quarterback, I'm trading the 105 plus to get to something else. Or honestly, I've seen, and I've helped people in the Discord trade from 105 when they know Ward is on the clock and Hunter and Tet are both gone, from 105 to 111 plus a 27 first, and draft Jackson Dart. And that's what you do. Like, Jackson Dart stock is way up for me. Like, as soon as you and I talked about this with, about Penix last year and Bo Nix and all the quarterbacks last year, as soon as he gets a start, that value's going up. Like, Jackson Dart, I think, it could be a guy that rises up drastically. But back to Cam Ward, I mean, I'm not gonna be drafting in a lot of different spots. If I have three quarterbacks, if I have Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford's my QB3, I might take a shot at him being my QB4 because I won't need him right away, and I think he could increase in value. But what are your thoughts here on Cam Ward? We knew where he was going. I don't want to spend a lot of time, but let's talk a little bit.
I just never really loved anything about the Titans coaching staff, system, situation, weapons. Nothing there appeals me too much with a player like that. It's not like he's a can't miss Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels or Drake May or Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow type of prospect. He's kind of more of that Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, like one of these type of like guys that like, yeah, he could be really good. He could also not be good at all. So it's kind of, do I really want to take him over any of the five guys we just talked about, or even Judkins, who also got top 36 draft capital as a workhorse running back? I'm personally not, but the value is there for him, top 6. So he's one of those players that if you're picking 5, 6, 7, you're hoping he's going before 4, right? You're hoping that someone takes him over Travis Hunter, Tet, or Hampton. So you get one of those guys at 4 or 5. That's kind of where I'm at with him, using him as kind of a guy to push the players down my board. But if he falls to 7, 8, sign me up. I'll take him. I really will, because I think that's just great. Trades a good value with low risk involved. So,
and a lot of people are giving me some flack, and I am not going to be releasing my rankings on Twitter. Snoog and I are going to give you some pieces here and there, but it's all for the Discord. We're trying to keep these guys together, trying to show them what's going on there in the Patreon. But Snoog, I mean, I had Ward at 103. He went to the exact same spot that we knew he was going to go to, and then I dropped him all the way to 106. It doesn't mean that, like the other guys got such good landing spots. It doesn't mean that I'm completely out on Cam Ward. I can't see if I'm on the clock taking one of these other guys, passing on these other guys for him. We get a couple other running backs here. We wanted these guys to get into the right landing spots. The day 1, day 2 guys really did. I mean, Caleb Johnson now in the Najee Harris role, Najee Harris has notched 250 plus touches every single season. Jaylen Warren is not him. He's going to be a guy who's going to get third down work. He's going to sprinkle in. But you look at what Caleb Johnson did in college last year, 240 touches. Looks like a Steeler. 1,537 rushing yards. Somebody that can pound the rock. That's what they need. 21 touchdowns. Another, red zone threat. We don't know who the quarterback is yet. Caleb Johnson might not get a lot of passing work. But in a year or two, this could be one of the biggest steals in your rookie draft, because he's been going 110 to 112, and everybody's telling you, we'll take Matthew Golden instead. They're saying take RJ Harvey instead, and I like RJ Harvey, so we're going to talk about him in a little bit. But people are starting to move up a lot of players, and they're starting to move down Caleb Johnson like this isn't a good landing spot. He got round 3 draft capital. That's all we care about. If you get inside the top early 4 and up, he's got a chance to start, and I believe he clearly is the day 1 starter for the Steelers in Dynasty. That's what you got to jump on.
You nailed it. He is going to be the day 1 starter workhorse for this Steelers offense. And if you look at all the running backs that the Mike Tomlin era has drafted day 1 or day 2, you got Rashad Mendenhall, Le'Veon Bell, Najee Harris, Caleb Johnson, and there's another one that I'm forgetting. I think it was way back. Who was it? Oh, James Conner. All of those guys have literally been workhorse running backs. When Mike Tomlin uses a lot of draft capital on a running back, he believes in them. I guarantee Arthur Smith, who's also a run-heavy offensive coordinator, said to Mike Tomlin, this is our guy. Because he loves to – Arthur Smith is a zone run scheme monster. He got his zone run scheme running back. You could have taken any – like, this is such a deep class. You could have taken any other running back in this class to be that guy. and you took Caleb Johnson as the only third-round running back when you only had 2 third-round picks, you didn't even have a second. You needed a quarterback drastically. They needed so much, and they took a running back with their second pick that they had in the NFL draft. I don't know if Caleb Johnson's guaranteed a lock to be nasty. I think he's going to be really good. But I guarantee you that he has a damn good shot at it, and I guarantee you that the Steelers think he is their guy. So you should buy into that. I've gotten him honestly everywhere. I've gotten him 110. I've taken him, and I've gotten him 201, and I've taken him 111, 112 in multiple leagues. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm trading for that pick everywhere I can get it, and I want Caleb Johnson.
He's the player that when you talk about when you get to 119 through 112 and you say, I need a running back, then you're okay moving up, right? Where, it's still best player available. But Snoog, right now, I just got on my Smash Accept 13 where I have 9 of the first round picks. I'm on the clock at the 102's on the clock. I took Genty, number 1, obviously. 102's there. And he offered me the 102 for 104 and 111. And I'm like, I'm not doing it because I'm going to get Caleb Johnson at 111 and I'm going to get Tet or Travis Hunter at 104. And it's like, we did all those evaluations. We talked about, trading back, but the first round's juicy, man. Like the second round might've taken a couple hits with these running backs, but the first round you're going to take at this point, Snoog, 6 running backs in the first round. We talked about Henderson. We talked about Judkins. We talked about Hampton, Caleb Johnson, your boy, Quinshawn Judkins. Absolute dog going to the dog pound at 36, almost round 1 draft capital. Absolute workload. You look the last 3 years, he had 16 plus touchdowns and over 1,000 yards in every single season. People try to act like he's not. And, he with the highest raw score that we've seen, I think he finished 23rd since 1985 out of 2,000 running backs. And people try to say he's not athletic. We just have something special here because I think this is Nick Chubb 2.0, and a lot of people were dogging me on that.
It is.
And I think a lot of people want to say Dylan Sampson is the Kareem Hunt to that. I don't quite see that as much. I'm fading Sampson, but Quinshawn Judkins, you invested pick 36 on a team that is a dumpster fire. You went and said, give me a bell cow running back, and you got one right here.
I love it, dude. I jumped out of my seat when I saw this one because I was like, let's go. That team could have went anything else, needed so much, and they took Quinshawn Judkins with the top 36 pick. I damn well guarantee you they believe in this guy like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Stefanski in this offense, run-heavy approach, the play action. That's how he likes to run his team. He got his Dalvin Cook. Like, he really did. He's about to get a powerhouse running back that's explosive, can hit home runs, can pound between the tackles for 20-plus touches a game. Dylan Sampson's going to play. Probably. I mean, round 4 running backs aren't guaranteed. Why did Sampson fall so much in the draft? I don't know. He's probably more of like a Jerome Ford placement who's going to probably get like a little bit of third down work, some screens, some like change of pace touches to kind of keep Judkins fresh. But you don't take a running back top 36 with that type of team if you're damn well not guaranteed, you view him as your future RB1. Like, that's just wild for the people out there putting out tweets like, the Browns literally drafted their RB1 in the 4th round. Why did they take Judkins? Like, just quit what you're doing because it's the same for you. Because the draft capital, the talent, the skill set speaks. The whole NFL viewed Judkins as a workhorse running back. He met with all these top teams on top visits. He checks every box. He's going to be the guy. And I love getting him at that 106, 107 range. It's when you get any of the Henderson, Hamptons, or Judkins at the back end of that tier, it's like, you feel like you hit the pot of gold. So
was, and always it will be the RB4, and like he was that guy. A lot of people started fading. You and I tried to stay strong with that, try to talk down some of the haters, but you're going to get him at 107 to 109. And I think, again, he's the RB4. I mentioned Caleb before him. Caleb is probably my RB5. And then this guy, like RJ Harvey, going from sleeper that's going late second to at the combine, just blowing up, crazy speed, crazy athleticism. And then now going to the Sean Payton system as early as he was drafted in the 2nd round. Knicks heavily involves the running backs. Like the running back screens last year, even though Jaleel McLaughlin, Javonte Williams and company were a bunch of turd sandwiches, they were targeted heavily. And this might be, someone that has elite, exceptional contact balance. explosive athleticism and burst, can take it to the house. Snoog, I mean, you got to move him up. Like and I'm comfortable. I'm seeing a lot of people take him like 107, 108. I'm comfortable in the 111, 112 range. I'm hoping to get him everywhere at 201, 202. Because talk about improving. This is a little bit more where, like, in 2023, you took Bijan at 101 and you got A-Chain at 201. And I think this year you get Genty at 101 and then you take RJ Harvey at 201. The only detracting for me, because I did like his tape, I dug in a little bit more after he got drafted. He's a little bit older. You know, he's 24, going to be turning 25, but it's a running back. You're going to use him for 3 to 4 years anyways. And with this draft capital, he solidifies himself in that area.
I'm so sad that he is in that 24 to 25-year-old mode, because not that I
wish
care.
He was 21, you know?
I don't care, but the dynasty market does. And that's the issue. Mm-hmm. That's the only issue I had with him. That's why he was like my RB 11 or 12 or 13 pre-draft, because film-wise, he was my RB8. I had him RB8 film-wise. Loved his tape. I saw so much DeAndre Swift in his game. Just an explosive space creator, elite contact balance, like you mentioned, can make a guy miss at a phone booth. Literally is in that DeAndre Swift, Bucky Irving, Devon A-Chain type of skill set, type of player. Great receiver, captain of his team, like just great player. Heard a ton of good things about him in interviews. But the biggest issue for me was just I couldn't get behind that age. And I'll take it. I was wrong. I was wrong about his age. He's my RB6. Can arguably put him above Caleb Johnson if you want, but he's right there at RB6 for me. Caleb Johnson's 4 years younger. Like, you really just got to go with Caleb Johnson to the Steelers for me personally. But in that early second range, like you said, Dad, I mean, Sean Payton knows how to deploy running backs. And when Sean Payton believes in a running back and takes a running back high, it usually ends up being good. So RJ Harvey checked every box at the combine in that early second range. He's a guy I'm trading up to get. Like, I think you could take him over Matthew Golden comfortably if you want to. I wouldn't shy you away, but it's kind of tough because it's like, do I take him over a first round wideout that's 20 years old to the Packers? It's just like, if you can get him in that early second, you're hitting the pot of gold there.
Yeah, and you're right. I think you really nailed it there where you're talking about, let's say he has an RB1 season this year, but he's 25. You know, like that is this.
Can you gain?
You can't move up too much. You're never going to move into that same stratosphere of these other players, like a Genty, like a Hampton, like these younger running backs who are 3-4 years younger, just in the dynasty minds. But if you're at the 112 and you don't need a quarterback and you don't need a wide receiver and you just need a running back, you smash RJ Harvey. He's going to win you leagues. Like, he's going to be fantastic.
He could be elite year one.
Four guys go round two. That's 6 running backs inside that top 2 draft capital. And I remember seeing a lot of people say, Snoog and Dad are crazy. They keep saying how many running backs are going to go, round 2. A lot of them did. And I think that's really awesome. Looking at the wide receivers here, we covered the big 2. I think we definitely have a step down, but Ibuka going to the Bucks. Then we got Golden going to the Packers, like Luther Burden to the Bears. There's a lot to dissect there. I think Ibuka is going to be one of the best deals in this draft because people have moved him outside the first I've seen. And I think talent-wise, he's up there. A lot of people are arguing Luther Burden's in a better situation. I don't necessarily see that, with what's ahead of him.
No.
And Matthew Golden, it's now the wide receiver 1 for the Packers, in my opinion. They've seen enough from Christian Watson being injured all the time. Reed, he's not that guy. Like, they're understanding these other guys aren't him. It's interesting because Aaron Rodgers would die for the wide receiver room that's there now, but Packers invested. So out of these 3, who are you taking first on the clock? And let's start breaking them down.
Yeah, for me, it's Ibuka. Like, clear, set and away. He's my 108 in this class. I really just love the player, love the talent. I love the situation long-term because we both love Baker Mayfield, the way he can do. Mike Evans is 32. He was already dealing with a bunch of soft tissue injuries last year, missing time. Chris Godwin, dare I say it, Dad? Dare I become the guy that has to do it? But is Chris Godwin going to be washed? Like, is he? I just think that's a comfortable question we can ask ourselves. Because why would they take Ibuka, right? When they have McMillan, when they have Mike Evans, there's a reason they took him. Either they didn't think he'd fall there, or they thought he was by far the best player on their board. He fell, and they're like, "Yep, I want him. He's our Godwin replacement." Chris Godwin
And
He's
he's
had so
29.
many season-ending leg. Yeah, he's had so many season-ending leg injuries, and he just had one. He already looked slow as molasses last year before the injury. Was just getting fed targets out of the slot, but he wasn't the same player he used to be like he was in 2018. Then he just completely snaps his ankle in half. Like, that's not an injury that you come back from comfortably. My biggest takeaway is sell Chris Godwin, buy Emeka Egbuka, and draft him everywhere, and thank me later. That's the way I diagnose this.
You're going to get good value on Ibuka, and I think I personally have Golden one spot above him just because I feel like at 20 years old, going to this landing spot, I think is going to give him a real opportunity to excel and increase in value. If you're a rebuilding team, I want both of these guys because I think both of these guys have the opportunity to increase in value. I'm out on Luther Burden, though. I know a lot of people that we respect in the community are really big on him. I would have loved to see him again. Go to you, Snoogs over here doing a post on sell Chris Godwin. But I am at a spot where I love him if he went to the Patriots, right? But I do not like this Bears landing spot because there's just so many weapons there. They go out. I thought for sure they'd take a running back, but they get Colston Loveland, who is their new Sam Laporta. You and I were screaming that where, either Warren or Loveland. We were thinking Warren, right, to the Bears as the new Sam Laporta in that offense. Now Luther Burden, I mean, where does he fit in the mold? Because DJ Moore and Rome Odunze are the 1-2, and I think Loveland is going to he's not an inline blocker. So you have to have him out there. I mean, are they going to run basically 4 wide receiver sets all the time? Or is Luther Burden going to be in a Jahmyr Gibbs type role where they give him a ton of handoffs? It's like, what do we do here in this situation? DeAndre Swift stock is up. Caleb Williams stock is through the roof. Talk to me a little bit about the Bears.
I love it. Caleb Williams to the moon, like you said. I actually bought a share of him yesterday. I've been trying to buy a little bit as I can. The more and more we go. I love Colston Loveland, tight end 3 in Dynasty for me. That's Ben Johnson got a Sam Laporta, but he took him 10th overall. When they had so many other needs, they took a tight end. They took him 10th overall. The more and more I think about it, the more and more it feels like DJ Moore is gone after this year, or they're getting rid of him this year. It doesn't seem like there's a good connection between Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, and it doesn't feel like Ben Johnson really is a big fan of DJ Moore. Something feels fishy about that. To take Luther and take Colston Loveland when you need defensive needs, you need edge rushers, they haven't really addressed that. To me, I think it's going to be Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, and Colston Loveland, and I think that you shouldn't be scared to take Loveland or Burden in rookie drafts. I'm not taking Burden in the first round like I've been seeing people saying to do, but when you get him, like I did the other day at 203 or 204 or 202, sign me up all day because it's like him, Golden, RJ Harvey, Trey Harris. And it's like I'm fine with any of those guys in that 201 to 204 range. But Loveland, Dad, let's talk about him for a second because he is exactly what Laporta is. A space creator, an elite route runner, good after the catch, but he's a bigger, better athlete. And he's probably better than Sam Laporta as a prospect and talent. Not saying he's necessarily going to be as good as what Sam Laporta is in the league, but Laporta doesn't have Ben Johnson. Loveland has Ben Johnson now, and Loveland's a damn good space creator. So I think Caleb Williams is going to force feed him targets underneath because it's just going to be an easy option for him.
My original take was I moved Loveland above Warren. Take some time and digest it. I've actually flip-flopped the 2 back just because after day 1, I moved him above Warren. Day 2, after they took Burden, I'm like, all right, there's a lot of mouths to feed here, but I think Ben Johnson can do it. Bottom line is both of them are top 6 dynasty tight ends right now. Tyler Warren, I think, is getting forgotten about. People are drafting him 1-9. Somebody messaged me the other day. They got him at 201. I'm like,
I saw that.
What is going on here? Like, no. Like, he goes to the Colts, and I get it. Anthony Richardson can't hit the broadside of a barn. But Daniel Jones will check down to him if the Anthony Richardson experience doesn't work.
He will.
He will be utilized in that offense in multiple different scenarios. He's going to run the ball. He's, probably going to throw the ball occasionally. He's going to used a lot like Penn State did. So I really like Warren's landing spot the more I digest it. I would have loved the Chargers. I would have loved some of these other spots, but I kind of like him in that area. We're going to do tons of these shows. So don't say, hey, Dad, you guys only talked about X player, this player. The other wide receiver I want to talk about in this range, Snoog, who you and I loved. He gets the draft capital and the landing spot. Trey Harris is great for fantasy. He's great for hardball. He's great for Lad McConkey, because now I don't think they went out and got a true number one, but Trey Harris has the upside to be a damn good wide receiver. And they took him in round two. That's all we needed to see. And if you told me a year from now that he's up there with Hunter and Ted McMillan, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, he's going to be a very great value in that early second.
Dare I say, I don't know if the dynasty value is going to be there in terms of like how much value he can gain, but I think there's a damn good chance that Trey Harris, for me in my rankings, finishes as like the wide receiver 4 out of all the rookies, like behind Igbuka and the other two. I just think with Herbert in that situation, that offense, I just think he has such a clearer path than Burden and even Golden, kind of in a way, just because I think that like there's a lot of rotational pieces there in Green Bay, and they kind of use a bunch of pieces, and it's kind of weird. It could take Golden a little bit to settle in there, but I just feel like Trey Harris has such, and I think he's the most pro ready out of those guys. So I think there's a chance. I got him 205. I love it. I got him 204 in the league too, but he's such a good player for that offense. He's literally going to play what Quentin Johnson hasn't been able to do and what Mike Williams used to do. And Justin Herbert feeds his big body wide receivers. So I think Trey Harris, very reliable hands, contested catch monster. We talked about on the show with Debro. He's Cortland Sutton to me. Debro said Allen Robinson. I could see some of those comps as like ceiling outcomes for him, but I think he's really going to be a high end starter for the Chargers, and they got a steal in him.
Dude, this is fun. We're gonna have shows out like every single day. We're gonna talk about this more and more. If you want more content, if you want more of what Snoog and I do, and we are getting comments on the YouTube page, on Twitter, like, we love your content. We keep coming into these. If you guys want more, plus a community that's now, Snoog, up to 750 people, this is the place to be right there. Patreon.com/smash accept. You pay there. It takes you to the Discord. We'll set you up in there. And we have, honestly, Snoog and I are grinding so hard to help you guys win your trades, win your leagues, win your rookie drafts. So make sure you guys sign up for that. Hit that YouTube subscribe button. It really helps us. It's really improved over the last couple of months. This is going to be a fun time of year. It's like Christmas for Snoog and I. So thanks for tuning in and enjoy the process. We're sitting here like, yo, who we take?